In this tutorial, you're going to learn how to cut and sew this beautiful dress with very easy steps. I'll show you all the techniques and tricks you need to make this beautiful dress. You're going to learn how to cut the applique and prevent fraying. You're also going to learn the easiest way to make the gathers. You're also going to learn many more. If this is something you'd love to watch, make sure you subscribe for more. So let's start by looking at the materials that we're going to use. I'm going to be using my satin white fabric for the bodice, and I'm also going to be using my Ankara fabric for the bottom part of the skirt. Then I'm also going to be using my soldering iron to trim off these applique petals. Then I'm also going to be using my glue gun or just ordinary glue. You can either use the ordinary glue or a glue gun. Then I also have a zipper for the back of the dress. As you can see, I have a white zipper. Then I'm also going to be using my measuring tape and my pair of scissors as well. So this is the other glue. So let's begin by taking the body measurements. So the first thing you need to do is place the measuring tape around the waist. You need the waist measurement, and also you need the full length. So this waist measurement we're working with is 22.5 inches. So our waist is 22.5 inches. So we're going to multiply it by 4, and whatever we have is how long our gathered skirt is going to be. Then I'm also going to add an extra 10 inches. So therefore we're going to have 100 inches. So now let's transfer the measurements onto the fabric. So this is the fabric for the bottom part of the dress. I have to measure and make sure it is equivalent to 100 inches. However, keep in mind that my measuring tape only ends at 60 inches. So therefore, I'm going to add 60 inches plus, I'll start all over again from 1. I'll add 60 inches plus 40. And there we have 100 inches. So now let's go ahead and make the gathers. So before making the gathers, you can go ahead and hem the bottom part of the dress if you want. But I'll hem later in this tutorial. So I'm going to make the gathers using my hand sewing needle. I'm going to get my hand sewing needle and make the gathers. So this is one of the easiest way of making gathers, especially as a beginner. If you want, you can use your gathering foot, but this is the easiest, I can assure you. So I'm going to start putting a running stitch. I'm just going to be sewing an easy running stitch all through the 100-inch fabric. Then after that, I'm going to cut out my thread, separate the needle from the thread. Then I'm going to make the gathers and reduce the gathers to the size of the bodice. So I'm just going to tie and start gathering. So I'm going to sew the bodice to the gathered skirt. So this is the bodice. I've already sewn the bodice, as you can see, but there's no zipper and it's lined. So I'm going to sew the zipper later, but for now reduce the gathers to the size of the bodice. So I'm going to get my measuring tape and measure the length of the bodice, or the waist circumference of the bodice. So here we have 29 inches. So the exact 29 inches is what I'll reduce my gathers to. So make sure the skirt or the fabric is gathered and reduced to 29 inches. So let's just measure here. I'm just going to put my measuring tape. We hope it's, oh no, it's more than 29 inches. So I'm going to reduce further. So this is what you do, reduce further until it's equivalent to exactly 29 inches. So I'm going to reduce and tie the threads, then measure again. I'll put my measuring tape. I'll start measuring and hoping it is now 29. Okay, there we have, it's exactly at 29 inches. So I'm going to tie the threads so that I don't lose my gathers. Then I'm going to stitch this bodice to my gathered skirt. So what I'm going to do next is I'll place the right sides facing the right sides, right side of the skirt facing the right side of the bodice. Then I'm going to pin with my pins. I'm going to pin everywhere. It's always important to pin, especially if you're a beginner. It helps when sewing. So I'm just going to pin everything here. So guys, if you found this video useful, make sure you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. That will encourage me to make more sewing tutorials for you, to make more free sewing tutorials. So next, we're going to sew this on the sewing machine. I'm just going to take it to my sewing machine and I'm going to run a straight stitch. But always make sure you do your reverse stitch before you continue sewing. After sewing, do a reverse stitch. Then after sewing all the way, we're going to hem the bottom of the dress. So this is how it looks after hemming. I've already hemmed, as you can see. It looks very neat. So you can go ahead and hem yours as well. Then after that, this is how it looks. This is the right sides. Then the next thing we're going to do is sew the zipper. So here what I'm going to do is I'll place the two right sides facing each other. Then from the wrong sides, I'll place my zipper at the top here to where it's supposed to end. So this is where the zipper is going to end. Of course, my zipper is long. I'll cut off the excess. So I'm going to put a pin where the zipper ought to end. Then I'll trim off the excess. Then I'll stitch from there going down. I'll run a straight stitch. Then I'm also going to sew the zipper all the way at the top here. So that is how you easily sew your zipper. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the applique petals. So I'm going to show you how to cut the petals. You need to use a soldering iron. Plug it into the electricity cable. Then once it's hot, you're going to start trimming the petals like I am doing. So why this is important is because it prevents fraying. If you just cut out the petals with your pair of scissors, they are going to be fraying and the fabric, the loose threads will be coming out, and therefore it will be frayed and it will look so bad. But this helps to prevent fraying. The heat applied onto this binds the threads together and there will be no fraying on the petals. So that's why I like using my soldering iron. So there we have our first petal, as you can see, as easy as that. So I'm going to trim off the other petals as well. So guys, if you found this video useful, you can give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a kind comment, or just give a review of what you think about the video if you have any questions. So I have cut out, trimmed off all these petals. And the next thing I'm going to do is get my glue and apply them onto my fabric. So like I said, you can use a glue gun if you have a glue gun or just ordinary glue. In this tutorial, I'm going to be using the ordinary E6000 glue. So I'm going to get my bodice and my petals. I'll put the glue. Then you can make whatever design you wish. Then I'll put it on my bodice. Then after putting the glue on the bodice, you can as well stitch around the petals if you wish. But trust me, this glue is durable. It doesn't easily come out. That's why I like this glue. So I'm just going to put the beautiful petals and make a beautiful dress design. Then once I'm done, this is how it looks when I put it on the mannequin. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe for more.